Hello, welcome back to another episode of the InSync UK Space Cowboys podcast. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I've been joined today by Verena and Maggie. Hi, girls. Can you believe we're back again
Hello.
already?
Hi,
We
Sam.
are. Didn't take
Yeah.
long.
Well, it's not been that long. It's actually only been 1 week since our last episode. But we just couldn't stay away any longer. Last time we were joined by Diana and Fasana so that we could do a deep dive into the Playing with Fire album. And obviously, you might recall we looked at the lyrics, the music, the vocals, and how the storytelling aligns with Barbara Field's original play. If anyone hasn't listened, make sure you go and do so. But now we're back again, and we have yet another Playing with Fire special. And this time we're joined by a very special guest. As you will have seen in the episode description, we are thrilled to have the incredibly talented Cardamon and ROZZI with us today, fresh off their amazing work on the Playing with Fire album.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Welcome.
hello,
Yay.
Cardi.
Hiya.
Um,
So
Thank you.
exciting.
I'm sure, Cardi, everyone knows who you are because you have been everywhere. But for everyone's reference, just in case, we know you best for the dual roles that you've taken on the Playing with Fire album of both the young Victor and Frankenstein. And I think what we're really looking forward to delving into today is what we're describing as your unique vocal artistry, the energy that you bring to the roles that you are playing on this album, and really capturing that ambition and the turmoil of both the characters. So we're really looking forward to jumping into that creative process with you and hearing all about the stories that you have as part of it. So yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no, it's a joy.
How's it going? How are you feeling? Like, obviously, the last couple of weeks, everything's blown up.
Yeah, it's been a bit funny to be honest, because this as a project was quite a long while ago that we actually sat down and did it.
Mm.
And
Oh, okay.
there was a lot of kind of radio, not radio silence, but there was a lot of, you know, old Jimmy would be like, "We'll get back to you on that." And it's like, "Cool, yeah, nice one." And then all of a sudden, I got a message on WhatsApp and he's like, "Cardi, we're just about ready." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, cool." Then
It's
all of a sudden,
Okay.
all
happening.
of these things start coming out on Instagram, and I'm like, "Yeah, repost, repost, repost." I'm like, "Cool." Like, and it's a bit overwhelming, but not really, because basically I love attention. So
Good.
well,
You're definitely getting it. Have you had to turn your notifications off? Because I bet you're getting tagged in everything to do with this.
nah, I like people around me hearing the buzz, because then it's like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
no, I
Take
have
it,
turned it off
take it
now.
all in.
Yeah, and I think we're obviously going to discuss how the fans have embraced you, and I think we're so excited to get to know you, and we're obviously going to talk a lot about the album and your involvement in it, and we're so excited to hear how that came about, and I think we're obviously know that our listeners are going to be so excited to hear from you because ultimately this has been such a popular release and has really, really resonated and gone down well with all of the InSync fan base, let alone anyone
Yeah,
further afield as well. And for us personally, what we love the fact is that you're from the UK, you're based in the
yeah, yeah.
UK, and we're
Woo!
like, oh, we've got to have Cardi on
We've
the
got
show
our
because
own.
he's one they're one of our own. So thank you for joining us for that reason. And we'll try and not be too much like, yay, UK represent, but we're excited.
No, it's funny you say that actually, because obviously everybody else involved is like very American.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm here with, my kind of Cockney accent and
Yeah.
everything else.
Oh,
It's just a bit funny.
we make you feel at home here in this
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
our little team.
Trust me.
Yeah.
A little snippet. I don't know if you know, but the person that did the artwork for Playing with Fire is Greek. She's from Athens.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
oh, no way.
Oh, wow.
yeah. So there
That's
you go.
cool.
There's another. I was talking to her actually, like a few weeks ago, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, are you Greek as well?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Are
We were just like having a chat.
are they based? Where are they based in Athens?
In Athens. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
wow.
yeah. They're really
Really
cool as well.
cool.
You should check them out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we've
we've
looked at
been
the
seeing
stuff,
her
I think
haven't
I've
we?
stuff
Yeah, yeah.
online. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
We follow
Shout
everyone.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good. It's good to have
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. Obviously we talk about the UK, and what we want to do before we get into the album is just get to know you a little bit better. And I guess find out a bit about your background. And what influences you have, how you got into music in the first place. So kind of how would you describe your journey so far? Where did you first get into music?
Wow.
I know.
So my musical journey has a very different kind of story and a different journey as you would want to as you would think in relation to this project. Um, if I give you kind of the explicit facts, then you'll see what I mean by that. So when I was younger, I grew up in South Hertfordshire, place nearabouts North London. My mum is Cypriot, Greek Cypriot, and my dad is Italian. So that was my cultural upbringing. But in terms of music, at the age of 6 or 7, I started the violin. So I was a classical violinist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've kept that going. I've got my violin here in the studio. That kept going for ages. I did all my grades, started teaching younger kids, played in loads of orchestras, played in some big venues, played for some really nice, interesting orchestras. And then once I was about 17, this is like ongoing, right, with with the violin stuff. But once I was about 16, 17, I decided I wanted to do the saxophone. So I picked up jazz saxophone, wasn't very good at it, but I could do it enough. And that was also in conjunction with me starting singing because I started singing very late because I didn't realize that I could sing. And
What?
Wow.
yeah, well, nobody like in my household, the all of the singing that I was doing was nondescript. It was kind of just like
Mm.
onto the radio. And then
Mhm.
basically I did this theater production at school, and typical one guy just got out his guitar and started playing something, I don't know. And I was singing along, and I remember him going to me, "Oh, you're all right. You're like you can sing." And I was like, "Oh, okay, can I?" And he was just like, "Yeah." And then basically my music teachers caught wind of that conversation. One of the teachers started teaching me for free, which was really nice.
Wow.
She made me audition for our school's soul band. I got into that. I started singing a lot more soul and like, Stevie Wonder kind of vibes, which was really cool because that's what started my passion for singing was a lot of like soulful
Mm.
stuff. And then obviously in that band we got into a bit more kind of like 2000s pop where like NSYNC comes into it actually,
Hey.
which is quite a funny little link.
Yeah,
But
what a circle.
yeah, then around a similar time, I started studying music technology at an A level because I wanted to go into that. Then I went to uni, studied music tech, and then did my postgraduate as a music production, uh, but yeah, master's in music production, which I am now at that same uni as a lecturing assistant because
Oh,
Right.
Oh
academia.
my God.
how
Yeah.
cool is that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
it's good
like
fun.
talk about like different like full circle moments of like your
Yeah,
uni and obviously the NSYNC story. And obviously we'll come on to JC at some point. And it's so weird how life works like that and how, it's almost meant to be that things just cycle back round.
yeah,
You
I've got
mentioned,
got my
oh, what's
little
that?
my little staff ID card.
Oh, nice.
I'm proud of
They,
that.
they must be so proud of you as well. They're obviously well aware of what's been going on, are they?
Uh, you know what? I'm so new to it. I've only been there like a couple months. They're all
Mm.
just about remembering my name, so it's fine. Like I mean, of the people that I work directly with, they're like, "Oh, this is cool. Looking at this. Oh, look, Cardi's on Instagram again. Blah blah blah." But
I love it.
yeah, it's
Oh,
very low key, but
Mhm.
the people that work in that place, some of them are pretty like big names anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not a stranger to them to have stuff going on.
No.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
was your anyone in your family into music? Did anyone in your family sing, play instruments?
My dad played guitar a bit, but he never really, he wasn't he didn't do much of it. I think he got a grade 1 guitar when he was about, I don't know, a teenager.
Yeah.
My sister played the piano. My parents got my sister to play the piano. She enjoyed it a little bit, but then kind of didn't mess with it.
Mhm.
My mum is completely tone deaf. Um,
Sounds
Oh.
like me.
yeah,
Just like me.
completely. And you know, it's so funny. I love hearing her sing because
Oh,
it's the funniest thing ever. And like it's always been a joke, like, well, where'd you get that? How did you get where did you get
Mm.
because my mum was like, oh, do you reckon like I my mum would be like, oh, do you reckon I can sing as good as you? And I was like,
Teacher.
but yeah. And then I guess the real link family wise would be my paternal grandfather. He was a choir singer up in the countryside in Italy. And
Okay.
yeah, that's the only link to singing I've got.
Yeah. So the genes came from somewhere.
Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
natural talents as well, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm amazing.
exactly.
Yeah.
But no, you
Well, you
are. We're
are.
gonna
You
talk.
are.
I feel like you didn't re realize that you could sing back then, and you're even being modest now, which, to be honest, I think puts you in good company with the others involved in this project as well. But honestly, we'll obviously talk about the fan reaction in a
Yeah.
bit, and I think people have been blown away from you. So you better start believing it if you don't already, because
Mhm.
everyone is
I'm a
just
I'm
in
a I'm
awe
a
of your vocals.
realist. I you know what? I work with a lot of talented people, and you know, what do they say? Like comparison is the envy of all progress.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
I found it to be a good source of humbling and modesty because
Yeah.
especially in the music industry, there's nothing worse than somebody that's really, really arrogant
Hmm.
and kind of just
Agreed.
hard to deal with. So I
Yeah.
try and keep myself in check. You know, I'm
Yeah.
confident in myself, but I try not to take a lot of these things to heart when people are like, wow, this is so fantastic. How'd you do it? Because I'm like, you know, I could throw 5 other singers from down the road that are going to be better than me, and like you should be listening to them because
Yeah, but
Mm.
I think it's good to be humble, but at the same time, don't undersell yourself, you know. I mean, if you know you have the talent, you might as well, you know, you
yeah,
shouldn't undersell yourself, you know.
Or just let
It's,
us
I think it's
praise you
fine.
for it.
And
that's the
just,
thing.
yeah, just
Yeah.
take the
I enjoy
We'll
compliment.
it,
tell
so
you.
Yeah.
you can go ahead, tell me I'm fantastic. I just need to keep
Okay,
myself in check that I don't.
you're
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
No, I agree. I think it's a good thing, though. Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. You mentioned kind of soul music and that being
Yeah.
influenced by you. Who would you say are kind of your biggest musical influences that you've had?
Oh, that's you know what? That's hard because
Hmm.
the thing is, we've talked about in terms of my career and my progression with music, I have so many facets that the different artists feed into. So the question that I pose back to you is like, are we talking specifically about singing, or are we talking about my music making, or are we talking about specifically how I uh referenced people for this performance in this album? Like, do you want to go into a little bit more specific in that sense, or
I want to know about your music and your singing at this point before we get to
right?
the album.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's start with singing. My singing style has always been using a lot of falsetto. That's originally why JC and Jimmy reached out, because they liked my falsetto, which is all my higher notes, the stuff that's rather than ah. Um,
Yeah.
because basically when I was a kid, singing in school choirs, like as in, you know, like not a choir, but like when they get all the kids to sing like a
Hmm.
good morning. Anyway,
Hmm.
I would always sing the girls' part and I didn't realize I was doing it. So I was always singing higher.
Oh.
And
Hmm.
that naturally meant that my singing voice was kind of a bit more comfortable in falsetto, leading to this. But basically, that meant that people compared me to people like Sam Smith.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
so you know, that was a whole thing. My first job was singing in a Chinese restaurant where I was singing a lot of Sam Smith, a lot of Adele, a lot of Bruno Mars, just, you know, generally high performances. Obviously, there's some
Mhm.
belting in there, but I would get around it by just, you know, smoothing and doing like softer versions.
Mhm.
So I guess if you're talking about soul, though, in terms of my singing influences, then people like Stevie Wonder are a big influence. Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake, a little bit later, obviously not quite soul, but also people that have been influenced.
And the
Jay-Z,
falsetto as well from Justin as well.
yeah. Come on, exactly. And then like going into things like Justin Bieber, even, kind of brings that flair there. Sam Smith, definitely a big influence. Um, Singing wise, there's also the lead singer of a band called Dirty Loops. I don't know, I can't remember what his name is. It's probably Jonas because they're all Swedish, but I think it's Jonas. But they are a trio and they're like a jazz fusion funk, super contemporary, incredibly skilled instrumentalists and a singer, and he literally sounds like Stevie Wonder if he was like times 10 speed, because he's literally going it's really crazy, like it sounds awesome. But yeah, I think that's his name, to be honest. Right, that's singing out of the way. Music. My
Come on,
music
tell us.
is interesting because I'm preparing for a PhD in musicology, in which I'm going to focus on something called hyperpop, which I don't know if you've heard of, but hyperpop is basically a kind of genre slash movement that happened in the mid 2010s during my adolescence. You had the likes of PC Music, which was a record label that started up in London, with the likes of A.G. Cook, who ended up being Charlie XCX's creative director, and Danny L. Hall, who's produced for Dua Lipa. Like, we're talking about big names behind the scenes, started up this thing, and it just exploded into this sort of movement that I guess the mainstream will know it mainly for people like Charlie XCX and what
Mhm.
Camila Cabello is doing now with the recent album, even as far as
Mhm.
Adam Faye's new stuff. But that's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of music that I take inspiration from. If you're looking for specific references, ones that I talk about when it comes to like direct references into my debut album and this last EP that I put out, Dorian Electra, who is a really, really, really interesting artist from California who does a lot of gender expression and gender play, social commentary on feminism, and basically, I think there's a lot of political music out there that is so good, but it's not in your face political in the way that's kind of like annoying. It's just also
Mhm.
good music.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I like doing that. And then people like Glada Paling, which is um a Dutch hard style kind of dubstep producer. And I love stuff like that. Lil Texas, um, hardcore producer, awesome. Ash Nico, who's awesome. Ash Nico, you could also say is kind of hyper poppy. Um, yeah. Funny story about, or not funny story rather, Glada Paling, the person I mentioned. I don't know if any of you are Dutch or speak anything close to Dutch.
No.
No.
But means
Speak
slippery
German. I
eel.
speak German, so that's quite similar to
Yeah,
Dutch.
yeah.
So yeah.
So Glada Paling means like slippery eel.
Right.
And like in his production, he'll literally just have some like computer voice just going baling, 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 like just like eel, eel, eel. It's the funniest. But yeah. So I like a lot of silly music.
You need to send us all of these artists so we can start listening to this.
Yeah.
Check
We
him out.
we need some new music on our playlist, because my
About
playlist is
eels.
literally NSYNC, Justin, and Playing with Fire. That
Yeah.
just on repeat,
Just
basically.
that.
Yeah.
At the
My
moment.
God.
We need some variety in our lives.
Yeah, come on. I'll show you some weird music. That's my whole thing.
Yes.
Literally.
We're ready for it.
We are, we are. So you've mentioned your albums, and
Yeah.
obviously JC has been saying to people to get out there and listen to your work. So
Yeah, I
how would you
appreciate that so
describe
much.
Yeah, I bet. And it's so nice that he is so supportive and doing that. And I hope that people have had a chance to listen. What's the best way for people to listen and start to engage with your music?
Any way that you like. My music is available anywhere. Generally, people go for Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all of that stuff. You'll find it basically.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to, like, if you, in terms of like what to search, obviously, if you type in
Yeah.
my full name, Cardamom Rozzi or Rotzi, I interchange between how I say it just because some people, I'm not going to say Rotzi, but anyway. If you type in my full name, then you'll only come up with the stuff from Playing with Fire. But my artist name is Cardamo, and it's with a delta instead of a D. So if you
Mhm.
can't find it by just simply typing Cardamo, which you should be able to do, honestly, at this
Yeah,
point, because
you
I've
can.
figured out the thing. What, without the D?
Without, yeah, if you just type it with
Yeah.
a
Yeah, you should
DD,
be able
yeah,
to
it
do it
comes
that
up.
way.
Yeah.
But worst case, you can look up Androgenize. That's my album. That's my debut album.
Album, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel where not like like, I'm not a YouTuber, but like when music videos come out, that's where they'll be. Um, got a website.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you want to hire me, because I am ultimately a musician for hire, you can hire me at Sound Better, which is basically like Fiverr but for musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mhm.
and I think my email, my business email is in my Instagram. So at cardamo.mp3, have a look at my Instagram, follow me there. I'm chronically online, so you will always be able to get a hold of me.
Yeah, brilliant. And I was looking at your Spotify, and so I wanted to make sure that people were aware of where to how to search for you, because as you say, when you type in your full name, it comes up with the player and fire
Yeah.
stuff only. And when I look and it says here that you have 2,838 monthly listeners. And right, forgive me, and Maggie, forgive me too, because I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong.
Oh, Mahalibi.
Thank you.
The
How did you know that?
only
That's
one
so
that's
obvious.
not English.
Yeah, but I should know how to say it because you actually put this on your social. Was it today or was it yesterday? I can't remember now. The days merge because you've just had
Oh yeah,
your
yeah.
1 year anniversary of
Almost.
almost coming up.
It's in like 10 days, I think.
Is it? And
Yeah,
so 1 year and it's had 68,618
yeah,
Woo!
plays on Spotify alone.
Amazing. Yeah.
People
yeah.
love people love Mahalabi.
You can't not. It's so pegged, but also the song's great. Like,
I'll make it for you girls. Well, I'll get my mum to
Yeah,
make it for you.
yeah,
how do
can
you even
you?
make it? Because like what like I don't
It's
even really understand. Is it Samali?
it's corn flour and water, which you've mixed for
Is
a
that it?
long time. Yeah, on the stove. So you basically make like a jelly and you set it in little plates and it sets, and then you put that into cold water.
Yeah.
And when you serve it, you serve that little like jelly. It looks like a little like I don't know how just like a little. I'll send you a picture. It's like a little white jelly, basically,
Yeah.
and you serve it with rose water and rose syrup.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds good.
Basically, you have it in the summer, and it's like a refreshing thing, dessert kind of thing in the summer. But it's good. So
It's
your
Sounds
weird to
good.
song says,
find
sounds
though,
amazing.
because if you look at because you can go to like any Arabic restaurant or Lebanese whatever restaurant and get mahalebi, but it's different because they
yeah,
make it different.
it's a different
Like
thing.
the Cypriot mahalebi is totally different. Anyway, but I digress.
That's your
But
album.
but it's a very good song. It's a very good song. I've been
Thank
listening
you.
to it.
Yeah, and it sounds like a very nice treat as well. So we will definitely not say no, Maggie. So
So good.
we're gonna hold you to this now. It's recorded. You can't back out of this now. So
Oh,
we're gonna hold you to it. So I guess we know about a little bit about your background.
yeah, yeah.
And you mentioned playing, well, we've all mentioned playing with a fire. You mentioned Jimmy earlier when we were talking and the fact that he reached out to you. We'd just love to know, I think, just to start to get into it now, ultimately the journey that led you to collaborating with JC and Jimmy and how that all came about.
Yeah, it's very, very simple actually. I mentioned it earlier. Sound Better is basically a service where professionals can hire other professionals to do work within the music industry, whether that be playing the violin, singing, mixing something, mastering something, or anything you can think of, basically. It's basically a repository of professionals that you can basically match up clients with. And
Like a LinkedIn for music.
kind of, yeah,
Ah.
it's like that, except also the work happens within that program.
Okay.
You
Oh,
can
okay.
you can put money there and they hold it and then it gets paid out to the person. It's a mixture of LinkedIn and Fiverr.
hmm
Mhm.
But it's really good. Anyway, that is how Jimmy found me, or I think it was both Jimmy and JC
The
because
story they tell is that JC found you and
there you go.
shared it with Jimmy and said, "Look at this amazing singer." So that, if he's telling the story as it was, yeah, might
I
be.
don't think I ever really asked them how they found me, but all I know is that the first communication that I had was through Sound Better.
Yeah. So is that like an international platform? It's not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah.
UK okay, it's not just UK based.
No, it's like you can find people from anywhere there.
Mhm.
But yeah, JC found me, I guess. I mean, like they do this weird thing where, as in Sound Better, they'll put people at the front page sometimes, and I guess I must have gotten lucky and I would have been on
Wow.
the front page. Um, and then they asked me to sing. I forgot which one it was
How
first.
do you sleep?
It would have been How Do You Sleep?
I
Yeah,
think I think so.
yeah. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. 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 And then basically they asked me to do it in a couple ways. They asked me to do it like in my own style, and then in the way I would think to do it, if that makes
hmm
sense. As in like
Mhm.
a non-theatrical kind of straight up a singer version and a
Mhm.
theatrical version.
Right.
And they were listening to it and they said they loved it, and a few more messages back and forth and a few more like demo recordings later, and they decided that they wanted to come through with me, follow, like they wanted me to continue, which I was obviously grateful for. But at this point, I also, this is so embarrassing. So I I'm a very like guarded person when it comes to people promising me things. So I'm like, whatever, this isn't real, but it's fine.
Mhm.
Like I was like, I'm getting paid, so it's fine. And then I'm on this Zoom call with Jimmy, because previously I think it was just Jimmy, and then like the second time or the third time it was with JC as well. And we were just doing this casual thing. I made the stupidest mistake of my life. I think it's this like
What did you
so
do?
cringe. So basically, I was just chatting, networking kind of, because we took a break because it was like a 4 hour session. Because obviously for them it's like midday, but for me it was like 8 p.m.
hmm
Mhm.
start. So it would go quite late and I'd, take a break, get a drink of water or whatever. And I was just kind of networking, chatting with Jimmy and JC. And I was like showing them like stuff that I was working on, like, my own individual music. And then Jimmy plays something that he's working on with another artist. And I'm like, yeah, this is sick. This is really cool. Sounds very in sync. And then and they both start kind of chuckling. And I'm like, you you know what I'm talking about, right? Though, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what's funny? And Jimmy goes, JC was in sync. And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh my
like,
God.
like this whole time I'd been like chatting back and forth. Like this is like now the seventh hour of Zoom
Yeah.
things that I've had. And I've gone, JC, you look so familiar, man. He's going, oh yeah, really.
Oh my God, I
Love
bet they
it.
couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, it was funny. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because like imagine because I imagine you get that. That's it's just such a faux pas. But
I
yeah,
mean, you can be forgiven, right? Because I mean, NSYNC haven't made music. I mean, they recently made some songs, but haven't properly made music for what? Since 2002 was their
Yeah.
yeah.
last
Well,
single.
do you know what it is? Is that this is also going to sound so bad. I've always confused like In Sync with the other boy bands of
No,
that era.
don't say it.
Mhm. Don't say.
I'm not going to say
Say
Don't
it.
it.
say
I'm not going to
it.
say it. But that's why I was always, and the names as well, because I was thinking, oh, JC, I know that name. And in my mind, I was like, this is an industry professional called JC. I probably know who they are, but it will come to me later. And I
Mhm.
just didn't,
Yeah.
ruminate about it enough to realize, oh, it's JC from NSYNC.
I love it.
And funnily
That is
enough,
so
right,
good.
one of my favorite songs of like 2018, so we're talking like 6 years ago, that I was re-listening to. I hadn't heard this album in ages. It's called uh it's called 90s Heartthrob is the song
Mhm.
by Superfruit, who's the two guys from Pentatonic, or it's the two gay dudes from
Pentatonics,
Pentatonic.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was in love with both of them, so I was like, oh, I
Mhm.
need to know what they're doing. And they released this song, and there's a lyric in it, and it's like uh it's like naming all the members of NSYNC, and then the last one is, and don't forget JC, he can really sing. And I'd been singing that, all of like between 2018 and whatever, and it hadn't clicked in my head.
Mhm.
Oh, it
I
was
bet you
Oh,
love
Oh my
that
that's
song.
God.
hilarious.
That moment when you realize you must have like kind of frozen and gone, oh shit.
you know what I did was even worse, because I have a habit of this, right? Is I don't
Mm.
get starstruck as such,
Mhm.
but when it happens unexpectedly and I'm not mentally prepared for the conversation that I'm already having,
Mhm.
I go into like wacko mode. And so I just started like kind of uncontrollably laughing, because I assume, I hope it didn't, but I think if I was in their position, it would have looked rude, like, oh, am I
Oh
laughing
my
at
God.
them? And I'm like, no, it's just I couldn't control myself. Like I was just like,
I
I
love
can't
it.
believe I've just done that. And I was just like creasing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet
they
must
must
have
have
been a
found it
bit.
funny as well
Yeah,
I
because
for
hope so.
sure.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, since then, we're in contact, so I know they don't hate me, so it's all good.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And do you know what? Almost maybe it's just as well you didn't realize to begin with because that, like you say, if you kind of suddenly got a bit laughing and almost a bit starstruck, it's just as well when you were actually auditioning and having the earlier conversations that wasn't in your mind and distracting you. So I
Yeah.
think we're gonna let you off on that.
You can look at it that way, yeah.
I'm just trying to make you feel better, Cardi, at this point, to be honest.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We're all good.
So you mentioned that you were having lots of calls with them.
Yeah.
Presumably, you did go over to LA at some point to
Uh,
record.
no, I recorded
No,
No,
at home.
no, you didn't.
Yeah.
so
It was
hang
that
on,
microphone.
but on your own, or did they come over to you?
Nope.
How does that work?
Very simply, just with like
Mhm.
a Zoom call. They say, "Can you do this?" And I go, "Okay." And then I set up the recording, stand by there and sing it.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
We're obviously not involved in that side of things. We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no
So
idea.
basically, especially in the last like 15 years or so, uh, what is called bedroom producers have become more popularized and definitely more used in the industry.
Mhm.
What that means is basically it's now a lot more possible for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to get an audio interface, have it in their vicinity, and just start and just record.
Mhm.
Which
That's awesome.
which I have but a little bit of a bump up. So me and my dad built this studio that's behind me. It's in our house. Um, and it's not very big, it's like about 3 meters by 3 meters by 3 meters. It's literally a little cube. But it has enough room for me to have my setup with a microphone that I saved up all of my money from when I was an audio engineer for live sound. Because that is a very nice microphone. Uh, and like all of my other stuff, I'd pick up the laptop, but really
So
cool.
they got really lucky with the fact that you've got this set up already, right?
Yes.
To a degree, yeah, but that's part of what I advertise as, my
Right. Okay.
like when you pay for my service, you're getting a studio
Yeah.
grade
Yeah.
recording just with a lot more convenience, because obviously I don't have to go to a studio to do my stuff. I can
Yeah.
just turn up my laptop.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So how does it work in terms of they're like on the Zoom and I guess you're taking direction from them
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they've sent you the lyrics over. Presumably they sent you the demos that JC had
yeah,
recorded so you know roughly how the song goes. And then what? They're listening to you, you're singing it, and then they're literally giving you live feedback and say, "Oh, do that bit again.
yeah.
Try this." That's fascinating.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
there's a really handy plugin that you can use in audio workstations called um sound no sound oh, I don't even remember audio movers and no free endorsements, but it was good. Yeah, it basically allows you to do what we've just talked about,
Mhm.
where I'm recording live um in this microphone, it's coming into my PC. My program is tracking it, i.e., saving the recording, and whatever is coming out of my master chain, my master channel, so like any audio that's coming out of the computer as such, is going into that plugin, Audio Movers, being sent up and coming back down to them in LA.
Wow, that's
That's
So
crazy.
incredible.
wow.
yeah, it's interesting because you obviously could do the same with literally just a Zoom link, but the benefit of that plugin is it's relatively low latency, so you can actually really do things without getting annoyed with each other, that because obviously we're thousands of miles away. So it made it really
Yeah.
good and really doable, which
Yeah, and
yeah.
that means I guess they can then listen back to it immediately, so they can
Yeah,
re
exactly.
hear what they heard and again, and
Hmm.
decide what they want to hear from you again.
Yeah, it was lossless, meaning the quality of the audio was not tampered with across the thing.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
really why.
So you've never
Yeah.
met them in person, or you haven't met them yet in person?
No, not yet. I hope to. If they're coming in London, I'll show them around.
Well, that makes it.
100%.
It sounds like they are coming. They've been talking a lot recently in their promo about
Hmm.
this concert they want to do in about 6 months' time, and they keep saying
Yeah,
recently that they
cool.
ideally will do it in London, and we're like, yes, yes, please come to London. We'll welcome you.
That'd be
Be
Um,
fun.
ready, be ready, Cardi, because they might ask you to be part of this concert. We hope so, anyway.
They
I
better.
hope so. Do
we'd
you know
love
what I
it.
mean?
Yes.
We will
Fucking hope
absolutely
so.
champion
If they,
you.
you know what, if imagine if they just like pick up some other person, they're just like, oh yeah, here's Cardi, and they just
In London as
yeah,
well.
in London they put somebody just with like thick eyebrows and long hair, and like funny.
Well, one thing you do have to do if you do meet them and you show them around London is you have to give them some mahalabi
I
to
was
see if they
thinking, yeah, but
like
who
it.
am I gonna make it? How am
I'll
I
make
gonna
it.
Maggie,
man?
I'll
Maggie.
make, and
You
I'll
can
hand
make
it.
you make it, and I'll give it to them.
No, if I make it, I have to hand deliver it though.
Then Duxie,
That's
okay, fine.
And then
We are,
that
then
cuts Cardi out the whole
I
story
have
then.
to chaperone Maggie, so I better come as well. But that's the plan, guys. We
Yeah.
just need them to come over now.
Sam,
Um,
Sam will bring the British treats and I'll bring the Greek treats.
Fine.
done.
There we go. Sorted.
Agreed. Verena can bring the German treats, so we're covered on all bases.
Depends when it is, or if it's 6 months' time, it's too early for Baumkuchen, isn't it? Like that's the
Yeah, unfortunately, the German Christmas treats are so good, but yeah,
yeah, I
it'll
love
be
them.
too late by that time.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I start celebrating, well, not celebrating, but I start getting the Christmas spirit around April time. So actually,
Oh my
and if you're
God.
and it's not and not being funny, if you're cooking it at home, you can make it any time of year, guys. Like
That's
there's
true.
no rules.
April.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
and
make
honest,
Christmas treats.
I
Come
swear,
on.
April, usually April. This year, August, because we all travelled round the UK following Justin's tour when he was over here, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was distracted up until April with all the
You
preparation for
didn't have
that
time
tour.
for Christmas
I
at that
I
point,
had no
no.
time for Christmas, but as
But
soon as
one
Justin had
minute.
gone,
But when do you do Easter? When do you do anything else? Like it's just Christmas.
yeah, like, and
Just
I
Christmas the
don't.
whole time.
It's just
Yeah.
Christmas, yeah. Like, I'm not celebrating it as such, but I start to get like the itch. So, it'll be April and I'll
Oh,
wake up
right,
and
right,
I'll turn to my husband and go, oh, I can't wait till Christmas.
And,
right.
and she'll start playing the NSYNC Christmas
The
album.
Christmas
Oh,
album. Yeah.
yeah, which is a
Mhm.
classic, and I've got it on vinyl this year as well. So that's going to be, I
Extra,
can't wait.
extra magical.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I digress. which sounds like a lyric in Playing with Fire because it is. Because we obsessed over all the lyrics, so we know them quite well. So what was it like working with JC and Jimmy then? You've told us that they were giving you this direction over the call, but what
Yeah,
were they like? Were they really helpful, encouraging? Were they
yeah. Oh, then
taskmasters?
no, that you know what? I've worked with a lot of people in the industry, and like especially with producers, while like as a singer, a lot of them can be quite overbearing, quite non-understanding, and just a bit kind of abrasive. That was not the case in the slightest with Jimmy and JC. JC might just be the sweetest person I've ever met. Well,
Yeah, he
met.
I
is.
don't disagree. Absolutely
I
don't
mean,
disagree.
just we were just kind of chatting along and like talking, and obviously there like in terms of production there were productive conversations going on in terms of how I'm singing, how I'm performing, blah blah blah. But from the beginning, he was very clear that he was ecstatic that I was even involved, and he was so happy about us working together. And I think that shows a lot of character for somebody to be so humble like that.
Mm.
That was really impressionable. I think JC's really good character. And even recently when Playing with Fire actually came out on the 25th, he sent me a message like personally and was like, I'm so happy that you provided some, like, I'm so happy that you contributed to this. It's been a dream, blah blah blah. He just said
Mm.
some really nice stuff, and it speaks to a person's character when they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially in his background, he's got a lot of things that have happened in his life in terms of that may make him not like that. But he was truly stand up. And
Oh,
Jimmy's
bless
Jimmy.
him.
Jimmy's great. Jimmy's like Jimmy's funny. Uh he's a bit more deadpan, but he's super funny, and he's like, without sounding like I don't know, is that rude? No, I think it's endearing. He's like a big kid. He's got energy, and he's just really good to work with. He was
Mhm.
very clinical as well. He like with his direction, a lot of producers sometimes can be a bit wishy-washy in what they're saying.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
Jimmy was just like, oh, can we do that again? Oh, we just need another part of that. Oh,
Mhm.
can you do this in falsetto? Oh, can you do that? And for me, some people, I don't know, some people might find that a bit, overbearing, but that's exactly what I need. It's like I'm
Mhm.
Hmm.
providing a service really for you. So if you're the director, the producer, then tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. I'm very happy to do that.
Yeah,
But
I think they've worked on this for so long. They had such a
yeah,
clear vision of what they wanted it to be. So, the more clear they are with you, the easier it will make your work, right? So,
and I love that. That's my
mhm.
my ideal workflow. I'm a friendly person when it comes to working with people, and I don't mind having a sit down chat. But if we're in work mode, I'm very happy for you to treat me like I'm in work mode. Like
Hmm.
that's fine. And Jimmy got the balance perfect because we were also I saw his little boy, saw his wife, like on the Zoom call. It was really sweet.
Mhm.
Like they're just all nice people.
Mhm.
Super nice. And his kid
Hmm.
is adorable. Oh my God.
Oh.
But
I
Did
mean,
you
I
see
didn't think I could
JC's?
like. I
Sorry,
was gonna
go
say
ahead.
I didn't think we could love JC anymore, but I think we do after that.
Did you see
JC's so
JC's
brilliant.
dog? Did you see the
No,
dog
I
on
didn't
Zoom?
because all of the Zooms were in Jimmy's place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Mm.
like I don't think, or maybe JC brought the dog once. No, I don't think so. Nah.
I
But
think you'd
he's got to
remember if you did.
bring the dog to London.
Yeah.
He is an English bulldog, so he'd probably love to come over.
Hmm.
Going back to my roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So although it was over Zoom, you obviously mentioned the mishap with not recognizing JC at the beginning.
Yeah,
Were there
yeah.
any other really memorable moments as part of that recording process, and anything that kind of funny stories or memorable moments of any of the tracks you were recording?
Um. Oh yeah. I guess. Yeah. The animation. recording the
Mm.
animation, definitely.
Oh, I
What
can imagine.
happens?
Because Jimmy Jimmy put it forward to me that to try and do something Bowie-esque, which is why that's the only real song in the album that sounds a little bit different in terms of my tone.
Mm.
Because a lot of the stuff is just general, like time is pressure, just general kind of vocal stuff. And then you've got the voltaic towers of imposition, like the kind of over the top
Yeah,
vibes there. Uh, and I remember there are some funny takes in that project
I
file.
can imagine.
They won't ever come out, unfortunately, unless Jimmy really hates me. But
We want to
but
hear
they
them. We should have
I,
like bloopers.
Yeah,
no,
Mhm.
outtakes.
no,
The
no, no,
album.
no, 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 no. Because some of them are just next level. But yeah, there was going through that whole like understanding what they meant by it, because obviously if you say Bowie-esque, that can mean a couple things. Obviously, there's that side of it, but you know how much, I'm from the UK. My accent sounds like this. There was a lot of conversation about what do you want me to do, because I can do
Mhm.
the American accent, because as a singer you kind of do that in general.
Mhm.
But in all of my music, I sing with a British accent. So because I
Mhm.
think it wouldn't make sense for me to for my own music, obviously. But when it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
No.
to the project, we didn't want it to be too abrasive. Because if it was, you know, uh, like this is the beginning of something, like it's just a bit,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
Something, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I love
I,
it.
yeah, me too. And I just think I think to be able to have those moments even when from afar, I just think it's so special because ultimately it's creating memories as much as it is recording those tracks.
Yeah. I mean, I can't stress enough how well they treated me. So I'm very
Yeah.
happy with
Yeah, that's brilliant. Sorry, Maggie.
I was going to say, how long ago did you do the recording?
it. I don't remember. Um,
It was that long ago.
yeah, it was a fair while ago.
Okay.
Um, I couldn't tell you honestly.
And when,
At least a year and a half.
oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
That is a long time ago. I know
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
working on it for a long time.
They have been working, slogging away at it for a long time, but also something to take into consideration that a lot of people don't, or maybe a lot of people know but don't understand to the full extent, is that making a record takes a lot of time. Making a record,
Mm.
especially not just the musical sense, but the legalities behind release and distribution, all of that
Hmm.
takes a
Yeah,
while. It takes a
of
long
course.
time. And you've got to secure deals, and you've got to secure funding, and you've got to do like there's so much business in it. This is why, like in my personal life, I'm trying to learn a bit more about that stuff, because it's useful information in regards to how I can further myself as a musician. But this is why a lot of people, work in such big teams. Personally, I'm an independent artist. This is why I'm kind of like, trudging along a little bit, is because I'm doing everything myself.
Yeah, well, shout out to Centre Stage Records as well, I think, because they've been
Exactly.
partnering with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guys on it, and we're so grateful. Obviously, they've come on board, and obviously, it's completely their area of expertise as well.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, talking of expertise, what we didn't ask a bit about your background was musical theatre and embodying a character. What was your experience before this in doing that?
Ha, um,
Had you had much experience in doing that?
I did GCSE drama.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that's something.
That's it. Well, I did GCSE drama. As a kid, I did like um, I forget what it's called, but I guess like the theatric society community things, like where they,
Mm.
like as a kid you get shoved off for like one evening a week and they make you do productions, which I enjoyed as a little one. Um, in like the later years of my high school, I did loads of the productions. I did really enjoy drama and acting, and
Yeah.
there was a thing for me there. I did a couple auditions for like blockbuster movies, in fact, when I was a kid, but I was never that good at acting. So it was kind of like, well, I love music and I only kind of like acting, so obviously I'm going to go for the music thing. But then in terms of musicals, yeah, I did. I remember I played a mafioso or something in the Threepenny Opera at school, which was funny. Um, and basically there was four of us, and I was the only singer by trade. So I remember one of them who is now an actor and he's really great. I love him. He's one of my best mates. Was they turned his mic off.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
they turned his
Oops.
mic off for the singing portions and he had to mime it. Oh, but that's like my background with musicals. Big up Ali. Big up.
oh.
But did he know that when he
Yeah, yeah,
mimed
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
this was all above board. I just remember he came back down. He goes, lads, they've decided to turn my mic off.
Oh no.
Oh, bless
And we were
him.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah, as a true friend, you laughed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but he knew anyway. I mean, and also now because he went to drama school, I've heard him sing. He's fine now. Um, like because I don't know what they do, but I guess they have more vocal coaching specifically in acting school. But yeah, now he can like he's all right. Yeah, he's
He
fine.
can now sing. Oh, that's good. Turn him back up again. So,
Yeah.
so what? And in that case, this kind of being, I guess, getting into character as a role, how did you approach that? How did you kind of try and make sure that you knew what the emotion would be of the character so that you could kind of express that through your vocals?
So that was entirely not me. I
Oh,
decided from the beginning that I was going to be upfront and be transparent with these guys. And I said, look, I'm happy to do this for you, but if you're looking for a musical theatre singer, I have no experience as one. I didn't. I said I was like, look, I can do it. Of course I can. But if you're looking for somebody that has explicit experience in the West End, that's not my background.
Mhm.
And they said, well, we've heard your voice and that's what we're interested in. So I said, cool. And I can deliver, I mean, I work on adverts and stuff, or I have done, where it's kind of putting on a persona or singing in a certain way. Um, I've written songs in the style of other artists just for my own practice, where I've like manually changed my voice or otherwise. So I said to them, look, if you give me what you want me to do, I will do my best to feel that. And Jimmy was happy with that mostly because Jimmy was just saying like, this is the character, this is how it's going to be. Um, the sound is going to be this way, that way, and so Jimmy kind of came in with the hard facts of the situation, and then JC would be like listening to each take as it would happen, pacing around in the back. It was really funny, and being like, "Yeah, that one," and then being like, "Could you do something a bit more like that?" And like kind of just like inputting, like because I would ask a question because usually it was Jimmy at the helm because obviously he's the like producer. Um, But when there was a question that Jimmy didn't know the answer to, or maybe that he didn't give the full side of it, where JC wanted to input, he would. It was very collaborative there. So I had
Mhm.
a lot of direction and a lot of insight into how I was going to be doing my job, which made it a lot easier for me because as we've been through, my background isn't in, well, I've got some parallel experiences, but I don't have explicit acting experience. I don't have
Yeah.
Mhm.
musical experience. Well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
theatre experience.
Yeah. So did they let you have, or did you want any kind of creative freedom in what you were filming, or was it
Uh,
very quite kind of, did they had a vision that they wanted to stick to?
there was wiggle room, like because they if they wanted it the way that JC sang it, they would have
Mhm.
just had JC sing it again.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
the thing. Um, a lot of people that I work with are really bad at that, and it's something in the industry we call demo-itis. And it's
Mm.
where somebody's recorded the demo so that somebody else can hear it and then do their own thing. And then they don't like the new thing because they're so listening to the old one. But these guys were very, obviously they're professionals, so they were kind of just like on it. And they said, like, do what's easier for you, because I don't have JC's range. That was a big thing that changed a lot of the performance vocally. There's a lot of takes that are spliced together. It's not one clean performance, as is with any record. But
Yeah.
but like, for example, uh yeah, even that, because that's in my head, that all I need is forever, that lyric from the beginning.
Mhm.
JC's demo had only the word need was in falsetto. So it was, all I need is forever. Like, everything else was in chest.
Yeah.
Whereas I tried to do that and it sounded not as good. And then we were saying, okay, we'll try different placements. And then we did a kind of mix of, all I need is forever. And then that was like, okay, well, that sounds a bit too flippy. So how are we going to do that? And then Jimmy suggested, how about you do the whole thing in falsetto? And I was like, okay, all I need is forever. And they ended up going with that take. So there was loads of, like, as a singer, you really do have to let the producer listen and decide, because a lot of
Mhm.
things they sound different to yourself while you're doing it.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's kind of like you have to put your faith in someone else in regards to your own performance,
Mhm.
which is, a skill that I've built up, but it's definitely interesting, to say the least, because he definitely made the right decisions.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that part of the song is so iconic now as well. So he definitely made the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Have you seen that on social media? JC recorded
Yeah.
that singing to get people to sing along. So so I think some of us have had a go to try and
Not
sing along.
me.
Not us
You know what?
specifically.
So they asked me to sing that for potential promo stuff, right?
Mhm.
Is like the one that came out just now, the one like an
Yeah.
hour ago.
Oh yeah.
And when they released the one of JC singing, I was like, oh, cool. And then I went, wait, have they replaced me?
That's my
Oh.
part you're
And I,
going.
I, I was like, was it that bad? I was like,
Oh
oh, they
no.
replaced, and then I realized it was like, oh, it was a duet. And then I was like, oh, they couldn't have used mine because it was only X amount of time long. And obviously, uh, I don't know if you've thought about it, but I think it's always hilarious. And I always rib my friends who are like artists when they do stuff like that for promotion, where they have to do the thing where they've sung their part and then they go,
And then you
Yeah.
sit there.
Yeah.
They have to look and smile at the person.
it's the funniest.
Doing such a convincing job.
It's so funny.
You know
I
what,
love it.
Cardi? Cardi, I know it was obviously Elizabeth's role that is the other one, but for absolute laughs, it would be hilarious if you duetted.
Oh my God, please
Could you
Oh, I
imagine?
could do,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
do it,
Oh,
do it.
but
That
the
would
honestly,
be
thing
it
good.
would
is,
be
Amongst
do
it.
you know what? I have heard that one bit when Lily comes in so many times that on the video that I sent them, I think they've got like 2 seconds of me just going, "This is the beginning." Kind of like bright, beaming, sunny voice. It's so funny. But
Oh God.
yeah, I'll do it. Why not?
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
so
There you go.
fun.
That's
Yeah.
we're challenging you. There you go.
Yeah, I'll do
Um,
it.
you mentioned Lily, and obviously everyone's been going crazy about her as well. And so obviously you haven't met her either. How did it work remotely? And perhaps this is normal anyway, even if you'd been in person with the guys. But how did it work? You've got a lot of duets with Lily and JC. So how do you go about harmonizing
Uh,
separately? Are you obviously listening to the track and singing along, or are you listening to the demo and then harmonizing
they're
with
both.
that?
In terms of 1 minute, let's establish what you mean first. So, like, if you're talking about duets, right, where two people are singing at once in harmony, then it's a case of, just playing one, hearing it while you're singing the other. If you're talking about, one person, then the other person, then one person, then the other person, you just take out the idea of the other person there, and you obviously sing it with that in mind, but you're not really interested in hearing that part because you're trying to record the other one.
Okay. Yeah.
Had Lily already recorded all her parts? So did you hear her parts when you were recording?
Okay. They
Didn't
weren't.
have JC
I don't know if
doing
they weren't the final versions, I don't think, but there were demos there.
Mm-hmm.
So like I knew more or less what was going on. And when there wasn't Lily, because there were some instances where they weren't there, JC still had the demo, like him singing the demo parts.
Yeah.
So yeah, in regards to singing like that, fine. This is something I'm used to. In person, it would have been the same anyway. They wouldn't have gotten us all in the session at once, just because that's a lot of money. Like the logistics of that doesn't really work out, because you're going to have like somebody sitting on the couch for 4 hours and also being paid a 4-hour rate.
Right.
So it just doesn't make sense. Label wouldn't to sustain that. But that's the kind of thing that would happen in, like, if we were in a boy band, like if NSYNC were, they would have together sessions where they're all there together. But they probably also had sessions where it was just, JC coming in to sing his part, Justin coming in to sing his part, Joey coming in. Anyway, but it was pretty run of the mill in terms of how things went. It's lovely hearing Lily's voice, lovely singing with it, One of my things is harmony. I ran my university's gospel choir, so I'm good with harmony. Most singers are nowadays.
Yeah.
You get the odd singer that's like really, really good at singing, but then can't do harmonies, and that's really confusing. But it happens. Personally, I really like weird harmonies. Sadly, there wasn't much room for that in this project. But the kind of good musical triadic chordal harmony works totally fine. Homophonic stuff. Homophonic meaning the harmony moves within the chords of the bass line. Like everything is how you would expect, basically. Theoretically, that is. So yeah, I mean, it was good fun. I mean, it's a privilege to call something like this a job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
If it was making me enough money, then, and like, if I could do things like this every week, every month, every whatever, then I'd be laughing. I'd be as content as I can. The reality of it is obviously these things come around once in a little while. But even that, I'm very happy and very grateful, because like I said, I'm working in academia now. I love that. I love being able to share my passion with other kids that are, well, not kids, but other, young people that are also interested in music production and everything else.
Well, we hope this is going to open some more doors for you.
Yeah, I do too. It's been a long while.
The world needs to hear your voice more.
Come on.
Well, this is just the beginning, isn't it? This is the
beginning. Sorry.
You got hope.
Oh, dear me.
Well, we're going to continue promoting you as much as we can.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's one thing I wanted to say as well. Yeah, I appreciate all the fans are kind of like really rooting for this whole thing to be successable, which is something I've not experienced for any of my work, really, because obviously my outreach is a lot smaller. But yeah, it's really impressive how you guys are really gunning for it, which is nice. Really pleasant, and it's nice to see that it's impacted you in the ways that JC and Jimmy were really trying, especially with the writing process.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
mean, they have been working on it for so long, but we have been waiting for something from JC for 20 years. So, I mean, he's done stuff in between, but I think this is his big...
It's his thing. Yeah.
This is it. I think all of us, all the NSYNC fans, especially the JC fans, we think this is it for him. This is the big thing for him. And I think this is such a, it's so overwhelming that he really delivered on this on all aspects, and the fact that he has found you and Lily is just everything is so perfect. He doesn't do anything by half, does he? So,
Uh,
um,
oh,
to
that's the
see,
thing is like his voice as well.
yeah.
Because like
Oh.
if you hear my voice on the demos versus the real thing, you can hear a difference, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm a perfect vocalist. But in the demos that I've heard from JC, and even from hearing him sing over the Zoom, man's got pipes. This
Mhm.
Hmm.
guy is next level. Like one of the best singers I've ever come in contact with.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Couldn't
And
agree
Wow.
with that.
that in itself is just fantastic. I love seeing it.
Mhm.
Um, because I have a great love of um like the science behind voice and singing.
Mhm.
Like I when I was studying my undergraduate, my vocal coach was uh very aware of the biology of the voice, and he would teach me a lot of stuff in regards to how I could one, stay healthy, two, try other experimental techniques, looking
Mhm.
at the difference in vocal cords between someone like Axl Rose and Aretha Franklin. Like
Mhm.
that kind of stuff fascinates me. So to have, you know, JC as an exemplar to just look at, and I when I hear people sing, I do that a lot. I'm a bit of a nerd. I think about, okay, well, where's that in their voice? Is that like, where is it placed? Is it
Mhm.
like vowel wise? Is it nasal?
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. So like being able to kind of study him bit by bit was fun.
Mhm. I bet.
And we're always happy to hear it because I think that's why we've missed him so much, hearing
Yeah,
his voice for
lovely
20
voice.
years, because we've obviously known what he's capable of, and it's been missing in our lives. And to hear him also so humble, as we've said, I didn't really think about even being on the album and recording until Jimmy
Yeah.
said it.
I
And
mean,
we're
it's
saying,
true, right? Because when they first started talking about making a musical, we didn't know that he would actually be on it, or
Yeah.
singing
Mm.
it. So it's such a treat to actually have him perform on it for all of us. So
Look,
yeah.
JC knows, like JC obviously has a lot more experience in this industry than I do, but I think everybody could safely say that if he wasn't on it, it'd be a bloody stupid decision.
absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
Yes,
yeah, he
we
had to be
agree.
on it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's great that he is, because he sounds phenomenal.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. We mentioned obviously future opportunities, and we said, we're really keeping our fingers crossed that something happens with this concert and that it is in London, and we'd love nothing more to come and see you. I guess it's just a case now of seeing what those opportunities might be with
Yeah.
with the guys and stuff. Would you ever be interested on like going on stage in terms of acting, from what you just told us, like the West End or Broadway or something, if it makes it there or on
Look,
tour?
I'll do anything for a check. But also, like I said, that was a thing that I was interested in at one point in my life. I
Mhm.
did kind of auditions for stuff like that. And I really enjoy acting.
Mhm.
I would be up for it to do it, like happily,
Mhm.
chuck me on stage, give me the rehearsals and the whatever and the costume, and I'll give it my best performance.
Mhm.
I'm telling you right now, there's there's people that will do it better. Like I understand if they wanted to do like a run that's like authentic from the original cast,
Yeah.
the original thing, sure, 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 100%. But if it goes big, it can't be me. Like it's gotta be someone else.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
don't
I
want
think,
anyone else to we don't want anyone else to sing the songs though. Well, I know
I
it will
think
still be good. It will still be good, but
I think when it comes to the actual performance, I mean the actual show, if that hits the West End or if it hits Broadway, it's going to be a whole new cast. I don't think JC is going to be in it, or I think it's just going to be,
Well,
you know.
JC said there was an interview, I think I watched it, and he was
hmm
saying like he hasn't really thought about whether like because they said, "Oh, do you think this is going to be your Broadway
Mhm.
debut?" And he was like, "I don't know." I'm
I mean, he
paraphrasing.
might. I mean, he's done acting, and he was going to do Jesus Christ Superstar. So he has got that experience.
Yeah, I mean, he
Um,
could. That's the point.
yeah,
It's like, so I
hmm
yeah.
think, I'm not going to say if I was in his position because I don't know, but like, there's every possibility that he does, and
Yeah.
if he wants to,
But
he'll do it. He'll have a
I
lovely
think for the
time.
concerts that they're talking about right now, or the concert, I don't know if it's going to be several concerts or just one concert. I think it absolutely needs to be just the three of you.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
great. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, yeah. I love performing as well in terms of like singing on a stage, nothing beats that feeling. Uh, I've I've been a performer or playing, not just singing, but
Mm.
I've been a performer since I was a kid, and I have my own mental problems in terms of like the way I have a specific outlook on life and the way I conduct myself and my own emotions and everything, blah blah blah. But the one time that I am completely secure in myself, content, happy, entertained, and having just only elation and light fill me up is when I am on stage singing
Yeah.
or playing or whatever.
Hmm.
It's sharing music with people. I get a similar experience when I'm leading choirs or teaching choirs, but nothing gets to the point of like singing in that choir or
Hmm.
Yeah.
singing with people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's magical. So
I
any
actually think,
opportunity.
I mean, if the concert happens, or I'm sure it will happen, and it wasn't you and Lily, if it was JC and two other people, I think people would still be quite disappointed, as much as, JC has that massive fan base. But I think everybody who loves this album would absolutely, we would absolutely want to see you and Lily. There is no other choice, I think. Nobody would want
Yeah,
like two just different people to come in for that. So
I see what you're saying, but also like there's a lot of things to consider, like logistically.
yeah,
I don't think, if they do decide to do it without me and Lily, look, nobody's gonna throw up a fuss. Like in terms of, me and Lily have done our duty and been involved in this project, and it's been a privilege.
yeah,
We don't, they don't owe us anything. But if that was the case and we were on stage, absolutely graciously would I accept that opportunity.
yeah.
I'm sure Lily would as well.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens because obviously
Yeah,
6 months
I'm
isn't that far away. So,
Mhm.
look, I'm a realist. I try and keep my expectations low. And that
mhm.
way, if good things happen, amazing. Great, good things
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if it does happen and it's in London and it's you know that we'll be there. So
We'll
Yeah.
be there. We'll be there front row
we'll
at
have to like
every
put our
night.
hands in our mouths so we're not like singing along and stuff like that. 'Cause we
Yeah.
Sing along. That's no, that's the
well,
thing.
etiquette.
If that's happening and it's on stage, everybody's best singing along. Otherwise, what's the point? That's the
Yeah.
point. That's the point of live performance. You sing along.
Oh,
Can you
it's gonna
imagine
be
when
good.
you used to touch me comes on and
Like everybody's just screaming.
everyone's trying to sing.
I love it. Yeah.
That'd be something to see, exactly. Right, guess what? Maggie has got a very interesting game for you to play, Cardi, because you come on the NSYNC UK Space Cowboys podcast, and we've got games for you. And this, in the spirit of playing with fire, is a quick playing with fire questions round of this or that, I believe you've got, Maggie.
Yeah.
So I'll
Okay.
let you tell us more.
Just to give you background, we usually play a game because a lot of our guests are American guests. So we usually play, or we have played in the past, Cockney, like slang, British slang words, where
Oh
the
yeah,
Americans
Mm.
have to guess, and they're very funny because they very rarely know
They
what they
never
mean.
understand anything.
No, but obviously we couldn't play that one with you because you'd get them all right, and you probably know more than
you'd be
what.
surprised.
No, they're all very straightforward ones, like legless, like you know
Chuffed.
what it.
Oh, as
You
in
know what?
like, yeah, as in
Gutted.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you would definitely get them. So we're gonna play this or that. So I think
I
I've
thought you
got
were
four.
talking like Cockney rhyming slang, and I was like, leg.
Oh
Mm.
no,
I
no,
was
no.
like,
Oh, the apples and pears.
yeah.
Yeah, I literally know apples and pears and bubble and squeak. Do you know that one?
Bubble and
It's the
squeak.
it's
Weak.
the greasy Greek.
Oh, there you go. Nah, I've got uh Barnet, bag of sand, dog and bone.
Dog and bone, I know, yeah.
Uh,
You know more than me, and I'm
no,
from Essex.
Barnet's hair.
Yeah.
Barnet Fair.
Bonnet,
yeah,
fair
bonnet,
hair.
fair hair.
Barnet
Yeah.
fair hair.
Dog and bone, throne,
Bones phone.
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 bone. Oh,
Yeah.
Bag of Sands are grand.
oh yeah,
Apples and
I
pears are
like.
stairs, right?
Yeah, apples and pears.
Yeah, we know that one.
Yeah.
Okay, but you ready? So I've got
Right.
14 questions. They're a bit they're in no particular order. They're a bit random. So don't think too much. You just got to
Not you're not
answer.
allowed, it's a quick fire round. You have to
Okay,
answer
is it
quick.
1 minute?
This
Is
or
it
that.
is it open-ended or is it like this one or that one?
It's this one or that one. So it's
Okay,
easy.
okay.
You just choose.
Your choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Science or magic?
Magic.
Frankenstein or the creature?
The creature.
Jimmy or JC?
JC.
Ooh.
How do you sleep or father?
How do you sleep?
Create life.
No. Father.
Oh.
Father.
Okay. Quickly change it. Create life or save lives?
Save.
Nice one. Revenge or forgiveness?
Forgiveness. Come on.
Okay, this one's a really important one. And remember who you're in the room with. Italian food or Greek food?
Who's
Quick
making?
Me.
All right. Yeah. Greek food.
Yay!
Because
A
that's
bar-
that. You know what? You can't do that.
You're right, though. It does depend who's making it.
Yeah.
So I get that. Okay, number 8. I think I know what you're going to go. Abide by the rules or break the rules?
Yeah. Break them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. Play with fire or avoid the flames?
I'm not going near fire. I'll leave the fire alone.
Halloween or Christmas?
Halloween.
Nice. Remember who you're in the room with now, the 90s or the 2000s?
2000s.
Nah.
No, I don't think there's a
Okay.
wrong answer. I
Thousands.
don't think there's a
No,
wrong
there's no wrong answer. Okay.
The
Broadway.
thing is, though, that's difficult though because it's like, because for me, it's not like the 2000s or the 90s. The perfect period is like 96 to 2004.
Absolutely
Yeah,
agree.
I
Yes.
agree.
I agree.
100%.
That's
That's the
also
era of
peak.
NSYNC.
That's peak in sync time. So
Yeah.
that's definitely the correct answer. Okay. Broadway or the West End?
West End.
Yes.
Obviously,
Come on.
that was the right answer. Okay. JC's dance moves or JC's vocal runs?
It's look, no offense to the man dancing, but it's the vocals.
Yeah, of course.
But he can
Some of
dance.
you can. Some of us might beg to differ. No, the joke.
No,
We
I
love
don't
both.
think
We
any of
love
us
both.
disagree with that.
Okay, so this last one, if you get this wrong, we won't air the podcast. We'll unfollow you. No, I'm joking.
No.
Okay, but we ask if you need us to explain who's who. Okay,
Okay.
NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys?
Who are they again? No. Yeah. Come on.
Yes.
What?
Don't
Who are
have
you
to
saying?
say
The
it.
Backstreet Boys.
No, obviously in sync.
Backstreet Sync. The N
This
boys.
This is a bonus question. You named 3 of them earlier. Can you name all of the NSYNC boys?
Joey, JC, Vance, and Justin.
There's
Lance,
5.
What did I
There's
say?
5 of them.
Vance.
You said
said one.
Oh,
Vance.
Lance.
There is one
Wait.
more.
And there's one more. There's 5.
JC,
Mm-hmm.
Justin, Joey,
Mhm.
Lance.
The founder of NSYNC.
Founded them.
He's a little bit smaller than the others.
Oh, I don't know.
Pineapple
Okay.
hair.
If
Huh?
he was Greek, his name would be Christagi.
What? Just Chris?
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
JC, Justin, Lance, Joey, and just Chris.
Wait,
Just
what's his
Chris.
name?
Yeah.
Chris?
Chris
Chris.
Kirkpatrick, who gets
Yeah.
named in M&M's. Chris Kirkpatrick gonna get your ass kicked.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
do
all
you know
right.
what? I can see his face. I don't know why, but it just doesn't.
Cardi, we forgive you because, like we
Fine.
said, how old were you when NSYNC went on their hiatus?
Um,
2004.
was it in 2004 when they went on the
Uh-huh.
hiatus?
Yeah.
I was, depending on when in the year, I was either 4 or 5.
There you go.
There
So
you
you're
go.
There you go.
forgiven. You're
Yeah.
forgiven. Totally forgiven.
Hmm.
We'll let you off.
Also,
And you,
you can't like the thing is, like if you was to ask me like who my favorite NSYNC member, like
good question.
not even no, but I'm giving a silly answer, not a real one.
Mm.
It's Joey. Joey, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yay!
Joey Fatone.
Joey Fatone, legend. Come on,
Yeah, he is.
he's such a funny guy, and also, love him. But oh my God, imagine your name, Joey Fat One. Like
Yeah,
that's so peak, but also
I
so
know.
funny. Like
I
he's
know.
got to laugh at that, surely.
He
Well,
does.
you
He
Yeah.
know,
does.
I mean, he
he's got a
uses it
hot dog
himself.
company called Fat Ones.
There you go. Like that's
Yeah,
brilliant. Love
Yeah.
that. Oh, but yeah,
he's
no, obviously
awesome.
JC's just
Out of interest, then, because like we say, you were so young when they went on their
yeah.
hiatus and stuff. How do you know Joey so well for him to be your favorite one? Like, what is it about
From
him? Is
the
it some of the
acting.
stuff he's done post NSYNC?
Yeah, from the acting.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, my big
Oh,
fat Greek
Greek
wedding.
that
wedding.
Greek
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah, my big
Hmm.
fat Greek wedding, Joey Fatone. I remember him in there and being like, "That's not Greek. His name is."
Also, yeah, also most of the cast in
Yeah, they're
my
not.
big fat Greek wedding are Italian or like Jewish
Yeah.
American.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember finding out that Laini Kazan was, I think she's Israeli,
Yeah, it's like
and being like, oh, that explains why her Greek accent was a bit off.
Hmm.
yeah.
But then, oh my God, the guy, I've forgotten his name, bless him, but the guy that played Gus Portocalos, he's died a few years ago, bless him.
Oh,
Oh
really?
really?
The guy that
Uh,
plays the dad, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, with his
Yeah.
he
window
was
lean.
old though, bless him.
He was
I love
Greek.
the movies.
Yeah, he was Greek, yeah.
Mm. Mhm.
Oh, well, you passed with flying colours, so
Awesome.
well done for taking on the quick playing with fire question rounds. Look, we're obviously going to have to wrap up because we've taken so much of your time. We're so appreciative of you joining us today. Tell us what have you got coming up next out of interest? You obviously got your day job, but anything else that
Oh
you want
right.
to share with everyone listening?
Um, Not really. No. So obviously I've just released the EP that came out a few weeks before Playing with Fire called A
Yeah.
Love So Shy. That's quite a personal EP. It's basically kind of culminating the last few years of my life, which have been quite difficult for various reasons. But what I'm doing now or preparing to do now is a lot more similar to my debut album, Androgynize, which is a lot dancier. Androgynize existed for me to kind of express my gender identity and my sexuality and coming into myself. But now that I've done that and done the, addressing the trauma, now I'm kind of onto the let's make beats, let's make bops. So the next project, which I'm not going to give a date because otherwise I won't make it in time. But because it's not done, it's only demos at the moment. But uh, I'm going to say 4 months, 5 months time, is going to be a mixtape. So about 7 or 8
Oh.
tracks that could all be singles. I might, drip feed them out. I might send them all out just as one project, but it's going to be collaborative. So there's going to be loads of interesting people on it. Um, I don't know if you guys follow Drag Race, but somebody from there might be on it.
Cool.
So that's fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah, there's some cool people in the works, and obviously, I'm trying to get hold of Piri and Tommy because I did a remix of one of their tracks like last year. Well, whenever it was, might have been the end of last year, but yeah, I want to get a track with Piri on it. We'll see. We'll see. There's loads of stuff coming up, and then another album and another album and whatever. I'll make loads of music. I'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, and everyone listening, I'm sure, go and find it. We obviously explained to you earlier how to search for your music, and we will look forward to listening to that because, as you said, the fans have gone wild for you and your voice. So,
I hope so.
honestly,
They have.
it really has. I mean, I don't know whether you've been reading the comments or not, but yeah, truly, everyone has just been blown away, and so I'm sure they'll be desperate for more.
I've been reading them. It's just like I take everything with a pinch of salt, you know. Like it all comes down to that at the beginning, like what I said. Like I try to keep a lid on things because otherwise, you know, I've seen people turn not nice, and I've definitely in my life been quite arrogant and rude and overbearing, and you know, I'm trying to reconcile that in my life generally. So I think this is just another exercise of being mature about the whole situation, which is
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
because I'm the most immature person online. Um, but you know, trying to gracefully accept these compliments, which I do. You know, thank you, you three, and the rest of your gang, and also everybody that's left comments of support and people that have messaged me specifically. I massively appreciate that. It's lovely to read messages like that. The only thing that I would say is you know, if I don't reply to each one specifically, it's nothing personal. It's literally just because, you know, I don't know what to say. Like I haven't got anything to say
Yeah,
other than thank you. Do you know what I
of
mean?
course.
But
Yeah.
because you know, like I say, I do appreciate it, but it's still a bit new for me, you know.
Mhm.
So just you know, thank you, and keep in mind that I'm very much not anybody special. I'm just a person.
No,
Well,
well,
you've
we
made
really
a very special record. You've made a very special record with your amazing voice. So
Thank you, and I'm very proud to have contributed to it.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. And thank you for being so kind and for coming on and talking to us and giving your
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
of
you
oh,
for
course.
just like your time.
thank you
The
that
only
you
thing
kept
Yeah.
you've stopped me
trying.
from doing, the only thing you've stopped me from doing is watching Big Brother, which I can do now.
Um,
Oh no. Oh gosh, is it on +1 or something? I mean, oh,
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's
oh, oh, okay.
ITVX, it's fine.
Oh God,
mhm.
okay. That is, by the way, that is, I know obviously it's been going on for years, but it feels to me that's so like I associate it with like early 2000s. So again,
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
feels
yeah.
like everything's
That's
coming
no,
around.
Mhm.
that's my dream is go on Big Brother. That's my
oh my
dream.
Wow,
Oh my
God,
really?
God,
do
I
Would
can't
you do
it.
imagine
it?
you on
Would
it.
you?
Yeah, are you joking? I would kill
No.
that game. I would
You
win.
would actually. I
Oh
can
my
imagine.
God, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Okay, well,
Mhm.
when it next opens applications, get on it.
I applied last year. They didn't want me. Anyway,
Oh, we'll do it again. Don't give
I'm
up.
gonna keep doing
Perseverance.
it.
Yeah, listen, Cardi, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for listening. As we said at the start of the show, make sure you are go and give Cardi a follow on social media and a listen on all of the streaming platforms as well. And of course, don't forget you can follow us, the NSYNC UK Space Cowboys. We're across Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, our brand new Playing with Fire UK account that you can find on Instagram. It's PWF Musical _ fan page. So go and give us a follow as well. And we look forward to talking to you more. But for now, Cardi, thank you so much. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks so
Thank
Thank you.
much.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thanks for tuning in to the NSYNC UK Space Cowboys podcast. If you loved this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you'll never miss a moment of the action. And did you know you can also stream every episode the second it drops on your favourite music or podcast platform? It's that easy to stay in sync with us. And while you're at it, check out our Instagram page for all the latest NSYNC news, reaction, and announcements of upcoming episodes. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.